Going on. Here's your rear view camera. I have a '08 Civic, if you guys are wondering. All right. A couple little mods done to it, whatever the case. All right. Now your reverse camera is going to come looking something like this. And the first assumption is obviously I've got it routed to the outside of the vehicle, all right, which is going to mount here. All right, which leaves you with these two with a power cable and one of your video component cables here. All right. And your first reaction is obviously to try to run it through here, okay? But this assembly here with the license plate light bulb pulled out of there, you can see this here, and then you see this assembly right here is not going to come out, all right? And I've got relatively frustrated trying to pull this thing out of here. So it looks like this strip here is going to have to come out. And if you look all right, you're going to want to remove this plate here in order to get to the light. Looks just like this underneath here, right here. Okay, so what you're going to end up doing is you're going to pop this out right here, this one out right here. There's going to be one right there. All right, I don't know if you can see that or not. Try to get this thing to focus because I'm just using a phone. All right there. Alright, there's going to be another one right here. Alright, and all you have to do with these is get you a pair of pliers. Alright, and bring these two ends together just like this. Alright, pop all those out. Alright, there's going to be a 10mm bolt on your trunk latch that bolts into this piece of trim right here on your trunk. Alright, so you're going to need to take that out because obviously you can see that it's bolted into there. There's where your 10mm bolts comes through, right? And your last latch is right there. So your piece of trim is going to look something like this. All right. All right. So go ahead and remove that for convenience. The issue I found is with this running through here. All right. Make sure this is facing up. All right. I just look for the lettering right here. And in addition to that, the wiring harness comes off the top of it because I'm assuming if you're putting it on a Civic like I am, alright, you're going to want to mount it on the license plate. That's why they call it a license plate camera, alright? They even have the brackets for it. That this wire is just going to be running through here. And now you have access to your trunk. Alright, what I'm going to do is make a small modification with a Dremel. This right here, because it doesn't want to fit in very well. Alright, doesn't seem like there's enough room. See this right here? This doesn't want to sit down and latch all the way, so what I'm going to do is just take a Dremel and remove this small portion right here. Okay, so now I've got this light, the license plate light, back in on the trunk area here. You ever heard the expression, measure twice, cut once? Alright, see all this area off to the right? Completely unnecessary. So all you need to do is see where this larger shape is right here. All you got to do is cut up to about that far there. Alright, and your wiring harness will slip right in and out of there. Alright, so see I got a little bit of room to play with, still a little bit tight. So this area here of cutting, completely unnecessary. Again, you guys got to love that I learned things the hard way. Alright, quick note to the viewers. Alright, I went to put this plastic trim panel back on, and we had our wire routed already. Okay, so before you guys do any wire routing, make sure that you run your wire through this area here and then go in through the bulb, okay? Okay, so I'm going to explain again the wiring for a reverse camera. Alright, starting with your wiring harness going to your radio. If you have one of the newer radios, like for instance I have a Pioneer double DIN, alright, you can see a wire called reverse gear signal input. Alright, it's going to be purple with a white stripe if I'm not mistaken. Let's get a closer look there. Yep, purple with a white stripe, okay? It's going to be labeled there. Go ahead and splice a wire into that, and you're going to run it to the rear of your car, all right? However you run that wire in your car is up to you, okay? I just ran mine across the sideboard here, and we'll discuss that later, all right, until it comes out in your trunk. All right? This here is going to be that same wire, all right? Make sure you have some smaller gauge wire that's going to come in. So what we have here effectively is our camera that I got temporarily mounted here with a couple bolts. Alright, I explained this earlier. Alright, and our wiring harness comes in through here. Alright, we like to do things nice and clean. This is a clean install, alright? Alright, our harnesses are going to be hooked up here. Alright, this one right here is the power, this one's the video, alright, and they're plugged into each other. You can actually see those. Alright, your power wire is going to come down, alright, and it's going to end up with something like this. Alright, you're going to have a red and a black, alright. Alright, this is a basic butt splice here. Alright, I'm not going to be explaining how to wire stuff, because if you can't wire stuff, you probably don't have any business doing this yourself. So you're going to take your ground, alright, your black wire, and you're going to run that to your nearest slug terminal, right? In my instance, I have an 8th generation Civic, so I'm going to assume that everybody in my class is going to be the same. Conveniently located here on the back wall of your trunk is a bolt. Alright, I want to put a eyelet on my ground wire here. I got that wired in right there, okay? Very simple, alright? That explains your ground, alright? You're going to locate on the back of your car where your reverse lights turn on, alright? So all you do is put your car in reverse, alright? And you locate which bulb comes on in the rear here, which happens to be this one in a 8th generation Civic. Alright, you see it here? It comes around here. All you do is take one of these inline splices here. Very simple device. Again, I'm not going to explain how to use it. And splice in your hot wire. Alright? The hot wire will come across. Alright, forgive my amateur video, but I swear it's worth the headache, okay? Alright, and you're going to end up with your hot wire here coming straight from the light. It's going to look something like this. Alright, coming from the light, going through my hand. Alright, coming right here. Alright, so essentially what we're doing is we're splicing in two different wires. Your reverse light wire, alright, you can splice in that one, and you're going to splice in your red wire, your power wire, going to your video camera, okay? Your mock wiring, alright, you want to go ahead and do a quick op check to see if your rear camera is working. In this particular head unit, alright, it's Pioneer JVH 3500. You can see a video input or a component input right here. You can see RC in, reverse camera in, okay? You're going to go ahead and hook everything up and check to see if everything's working. Okay, so we got our radio in for a quick op check, alright? Something to keep in mind depending on the head unit. You're going to go ahead and go into your settings option, alright? You can see an option that says something like camera polarity, okay? I got mine set to battery, alright? You're going to want to do the same thing on your head unit, alright? Other options are ground, off, and battery, alright? Essentially when it says battery, it's looking for your 12-volt input, and that's exactly how I told you guys to wire it. So you need to find a way on your head unit, look for anything that says camera polarity, and have it set to battery or voltage or anything as such. So here's our shifter knob here. I'm going to put the vehicle in reverse. Alright, it's going to sense that 12 volts. That 12 volts is simultaneously going to power the camera and give a 12 volt input into the head unit, telling it to switch over to that rear camera. As you see there, got the camera right side up, seems to be working. Pull the car out of gear, and we're no longer in rear view camera. Alright, make sure that on your head unit that you also plug that video in into RC in. Don't plug it into the other video inputs unless you want it to be a permanent video.